All right, welcome everyone. This is Rebecca and Erica, and we are, I don't even remember the title, but it's something like
Oh,
esoteric conversations, something like that, right? We
yep.
decided.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, two medical intuitives shooting the
Yeah.
shit kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So here we are, episode 3, shooting the shit. Thanks for tuning in. We're discussing that next time we'll definitely have either like case studies or people calling in, or there'll be more, audience participation. But for today, when I tuned into the ethers, it was just, wing it and just chat and see what comes of it. So that's what we're doing.
Should we buckle up? Is this where we put our seatbelts on?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm putting my seatbelt on. That's so funny. Okay, so shooting the shit. Well, what would you like to talk about? Let me think.
Yeah, well, it's funny too because I was thinking of the same thing, leading up to this whole week, or this today, and it's like, well, what are we going to talk about? I mean, there's so many things going on in the world right now. It's
Mhm.
hard to just pick one, and so when I tried to tune in, it was just like, you know what? What's going to come is going to come.
Right.
So,
Okay.
kind
All
of the
right.
same boat you are. But I do have to say, if we want to start it off, um, I was feeling a little off, with after the holidays and
Yeah.
all the hubbub and the rush, rush, rush. And
Yeah.
this is my first weekend home after, oh gosh, I was
All
away a
that.
month because
Yeah.
of the storm and things like that here in
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's like, okay, it's a new year, it's a new me,
Mm-hmm.
it's all this fresh energy. Where do I go? What do I do with it? Which direction do I head? Which step do I take? You know?
Right.
And then I know that can be overwhelming for some people, me included.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I think maybe I'd rather stay in bed and maybe just put the covers over my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, you know what? No, that's not what we want. That's not who I am. So it's kind of digging my way out of that, or one's way
Okay.
out of that.
Well, can we dissect that a little bit?
Sure.
You
And
get
here we thought here I
okay.
thought I was gonna have anything to talk about.
I know. We're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
Rolling, rolling. My aunt she had a great saying, if you don't know what to do, do nothing.
Mhm.
And so I'm just curious, what makes you think you have to do anything? What makes you think you have to do something different? I guess what I'm saying is, where is the pressure coming from, and is it necessary? Because it sounds like you're putting pressure on yourself.
Ah. Aye, there's the rub.
Like, why do you have to do a goddamn thing? Just lay in bed if you want. Like, what's
True, but I
anyway?
think I've been laying in bed too long, and
Hmm.
here I'm gonna be 50 this year. Can you believe that? 50. That's a
Wow.
big number. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I still have all these things inside of me that I haven't shared yet. Like the music, the just all this energy that I could bring to this world that it's like,
Yeah.
okay. But on the day-to-day side of it, it's kind of like, okay, like yesterday, I allowed myself to just kind of just be. I'm back home. I'm enjoying my home. Just, putzing around, doing this and that, not really accomplishing anything, but kind of accomplishing stuff. But it's like, okay, let's go over the finances. Let's
Hmm.
go over my goals this year.
Hmm.
Let's work on my business.
Hmm.
Let's, you know, try to get ahead at work.
Hmm.
Let's find a relationship.
Yeah.
So I think I'm done being single for a little while. I think I just want somebody in my life to, hug on and cuddle on, and yeah. So I think you're
Oh,
right. They're all self-imposed things that I want to do, and I'm putting this pressure on myself. Like, okay, time's running out.
right.
Let's get this done. But then in my mind, I know I'm in the exact place where I'm supposed to be, and I just
Right.
have to have fun and enjoy everything, and everything will fall into place.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that's what I was wanting to emphasize with listening to this list is don't forget to enjoy the journey, and you're doing it like, again, when you're saying I want this, 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 and this, then by the nature of you saying that, you're basically saying that the present moment is some form of deficit, right? And
Right.
I'm just dissecting this only because, to for people that are tuning in, that, to a different way of looking at it, it's like what you're saying without saying it is conditional love, conditions. I will be happy when I have blah blah blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to be aware of my life is awesome now. I appreciated it, 100%. And I'm looking forward to the next phase of it,
So
right?
can you feel both those things? Because I actually do feel that way
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah.
Everything's great, everything's wonderful, and my life is awesome. But I guess we get into these ruts of like,
Yeah.
because I'm not doing XYZ, it's not working.
Right, right, but it's all self-judgment.
You're right. Yes.
It's all another way, it's all self-condemnation. We all do it. We all do it. It's the story, and the stories we tell ourselves are, I think, so important. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
circumstances, it's the story that you have in your head about them, right? So if we change
Right.
the story, the circumstances don't change necessarily, we just have a different viewpoint, and that can make all the difference,
Right.
right? So I love the story piece. I mean, that's one of the archetypes in my sacred contract is the storyteller. And
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot there. It's like, what are the stories you're telling yourself about blah blah blah? Because your essence is responding to that. And if it's not true, you're gonna feel awful, right? If it's not true, if you're telling a story that's just not true, it's gonna show up in the body.
Right. And then, so
Yeah.
what's the body's resistance? Because if you know all of this intuitively
Yeah.
and you have the right tapes playing, or you think you do,
Uh-huh.
but the body's biological reaction to why you're not able to take that step, or
Okay. So, all right.
did that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So I think what's tripping me up is the response in the body, as if the body is responding to the thoughts. If the thoughts are not aligned to truth, it'll show up in the body, and that would be something that's not true. So that would be more, I think the operative word would be fear, fear-based
Mm-hmm.
thoughts or beliefs, patterns, and so on that you're entertaining about X, Y, and Z, and that's why that's what you're feeling is the resistance from the fear, which is like puts the brakes on life.
Mm-hmm.
Does that jive with you?
Yes.
All right, we're just hashing this out together on
Yeah,
this.
yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So, okay, yes.
Yeah, if it doesn't resonate, let's hash it out. But I think so.
Yeah,
The
I was just thinking about it for a moment.
Mhm.
So, fear-based resistance is what you're saying?
Well,
The
the
body.
resistance is the fear, fear is the resistance, and it's counter to the truth. That's the big,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Right.
it's just plain not true.
Okay, I got you. I'm getting you.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah.
It feels right, but my mind is it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
let me break that down a little bit.
Sure.
So,
That's why we're doing this, because we're all like we're swimming in a sea, and we don't realize that we can, it's hard to pull out of the water that we're in. It's like, oh no, this is how it always is. This is what I'm swimming in. And then you don't have the discernment of where these boundaries are, where we can jump out of that creation and have a different viewpoint.
jumping into a new pond
Yeah.
is going to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, the vision that I got is just like swimming in a murky pond, which is kind
Mm-hmm.
of like your present life, or one's present life of just, okay, this is my mundane. This is where it kind of feels like tar sometimes, but there's this glistening body of water, just like literally a hop away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is preventing the person, the frog per se, hop into the other pond?
Well, you first have to, well, I mean, I'll tell you what I think the answer is
Mm-hmm.
forgive yourself for being in the murky water and allow yourself to jump into some fresh, clean, beautiful water. Forgive and allow. Those are the big
Mm-hmm.
words, right? Like you can choose something different, but you first have to realize that you've created what you've created and then realize that you have a choice to go in a new direction, right? Because health to me is all about power, right? If you don't know your power, or if you're not operating from a place of power, and it's not going to feel good, and you're going to think your life sucks and blah, blah, blah. But once you see the power, or in another way of saying, when you see your options, it's like, no, I can choose this, I can choose this, I can do this. And it's like, oh, wait, I have a lot of power here.
Right.
And then you don't feel trapped. And then just sometimes just acknowledging the choices that you are right in front of you, that is enough to heal the person. Just to say, oh wow, um just to have the epiphany. Nothing has to change.
Right. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
It pretty much just is an awareness that yes,
Yeah.
you can hop.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. Like that, that's the condition. What makes you think these conditions can't change? Like how silly is that?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So what if you have a person that is kind of frozen in those murky waters and they can
yeah.
see it, but yet they can't move their body to make that leap?
Uh,
It's a physical response.
okay. So it sounds like that person needs to ask for help, and then perhaps they need help, and that's the big piece to, move into accepting help from somebody
Right.
and risk rejection. Um, yeah. And even to be humble enough to say, you know what? I need some help here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that's where community comes in to
Yep.
everything
Mm-hmm.
in a great way. Whereas, oh, okay, like the past few years, it's all about the I am who I am and discovering who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're moving into who you are within a community because you need the community in order to survive.
Yeah, that's the Aquarian energy, and beautifully, thankfully, all of the where if you look at where the planets are for me, it's all lining up with that. Like that's my destiny, that quote unquote, that's my destiny anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that everyone's in alignment with that. Like if you look at my chart, it's like, oh, community. Oh, humanitarianism. Well, it seems like, everyone else is on the same page. How cool is that?
I know because like one of our recent podcasts, I think it was our last one, where it was kind of like, all right, everybody, come on, we're here, we know what we need to do. Let's just do it. About
Yeah.
light workers waking up and doing the work so that you're not alone. And so this new energy, I mean, I don't want to put that out there, but this new energy is really supporting all of that.
Yeah. So what does it look like? So what is, that, so it's a big word for me because I can't see it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, what does it mean to me? And what is it supposed to look like for me? I don't know what that is yet. But and then I could go into, oh my God, I'm putting a ton of pressure on myself. Why don't I just relax?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm open to it. I love it. But I wish I had an idea of what the heck it looked like. How about for you?
I'm beginning to think the theme here is putting pressure on ourselves when there really shouldn't be any.
I know every time when the answer to prayer is always just be in the moment, be in the moment, so that's all I focus on, be in the moment, be in the moment. And oh man, What a challenge. But it's actually an easy challenge. It's a fun challenge. It's good.
It really is. I mean, especially like when you're washing dishes, you know, I'm
Yeah.
washing the the soot, not the soot, but like the stuff off the pan, the grease off the pan, and that's just kind of the best. I don't know why, but that's one of the things I love the most is just kind of washing dishes by hand because then you could just sit there and
Yeah.
it brings you right. It like laser focuses you to exactly what you're doing because a
Yeah.
lot of times people have trouble with being in the moment. Well, I'm always in the moment. I'm here, you know, but it's like, well, do some dishes and see
Yeah.
where your mind goes. You know,
Yeah.
are you washing your dishes? Are you, cleaning each, tine of the fork? Or are you thinking about, okay, I have to go do this, I have to go do that, that kind of
Hmm.
thing. So
Hmm.
I don't know. That was one of my most favorite things, or
Yeah.
still is to do the dishes by hand because it really laser focuses you into the moment.
It's a meditation.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been working on that myself as well for the past few years is I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to, you know, and really get into it and, be present with it. Yeah, that's definitely a challenge too. Or that's definitely been a personal quest of really getting into it like you're talking about. Enjoying the mundane and, the little things and yeah.
Right. Vacuuming a carpet so all the lines go the right way. We might be getting to my OCD there a little bit, but
Well, I mean, that's good too. Like that's good therapy, like lining things up. Like, yeah, my son like
absolutely.
right, you know, as soon as he could with his toy cars would line up the cars over and over again, his little toy cars
Mhm.
over and over again. I'm like, "Oh my
Oh.
God, where does he get that from?" Just lining up. That's what he would do.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, that came in with from within, like just
Yep.
lining them up, lining them up.
Everything has its place moving forward. With my nephew, it was dinosaurs.
Oh,
He
would
would line up,
he would line up dinosaurs?
yep, he would line them up across the living room floor into the kitchen and
Oh, yeah, make a whole like a parade, a
yep.
whole wow.
So they all had to be in line and it was like perfectly straight. It's like, man, that's just
Yes.
incredible.
Yes, it's like what part of his brain is developing right at this moment that's, what he's doing. I don't know. There's
Mhm.
something amazing about it.
Absolutely.
So let's see. What do we need to talk about when it comes to holism, energy medicine? What do you think we want to get out to the public about health, wellness, holistic medicine? Oh, okay. I just tuned into I just tuned into my guides and they said communication, community, like duh.
Mm,
So we're forming a community right now just by communicating.
right.
Oh, I like that. Because I'm a communicator, big time.
Yes, you are. And
So
you're a very
that'll
good communicator.
so that'll be my community through the communication. Wow. Oh, that's fun. And I think I'm Virgo rising, Gemini moon. I think they're both dictated by Mercury, I'm pretty sure.
Mm,
I,
okay.
I might be wrong about the Virgo one. But
I love
Mercury is communication. Yeah?
I love astrology, but I don't know anything about moon signs, anything about it. But I
Um,
just love
yeah. Yeah, it's
hearing
fun.
about it. So, what were you gonna say about?
Oh, no, no, just that I think if I'm correct about the Mercury, that both the sun and the moon are ruled, if that's true, if they're both ruled by Mercury and Mercury is that of communication. I mean, I got all my bases covered. I mean, that I have a double. I guess what I'm saying is, you know, it's like twice the strength
Yeah,
from
and that's how
Mercury.
you're gonna be forming community is just by being you and Communicating. I know that sounds silly, but
Oh, but it's great because it answers the question that I just posed earlier, like how the heck am I supposed to form the community? And then boom, there it is, just by communicating. Wow, that was
right.
easy. That was easy. And we're doing that right now.
Check, check, and check.
See, I'm making life more difficult than it needed to be because I'm already doing it. Oh, that's cool. And then I
Mhm.
love to play with words. I'm
Mhm.
constantly drawing words and like I don't know. And so from community, you have the word unity, and you also
Mm.
yeah, and you can also derive immunity from this as well,
Oh, builds
right?
up your right.
Yeah.
Because all
So,
that, oh gosh, I wish I knew all the oxytocin or all the stuff that you get from other people
oh, I
reflecting
see.
back who you are. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that builds you up and that raises your vibration. So in that respect, you would get immunity because
Okay. So you're so let me
oh, interesting.
I have
Okay.
I have a little more knowledge in biochemistry.
Yes. Yeah.
But not I'm not professing but right off the cuff
Hmm.
when you're talking about there's serotonin, there's
Dopamine.
oxytocin, there's dopamine,
Hmm.
serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, and there's more, but those are all neurotransmitters. Oxytocin is that mothering energy. Dopamine, I think, is just feel good. Serotonin is feeling satisfied. That's my I have to always stay conscientious of serotonin levels personally. But
Okay.
but yeah, so yeah, we're boosting our neurotransmitters, our
Right.
good hormones, and that is so we're increasing our immunity just by doing this and forming community by communicating. Dear God,
Right.
we are on a roll. We don't have to try hard at all.
No, we don't.
We just
We just
have
have to
to
show up,
I
right?
know. We just show up and all this stuff comes into place. Wow, that's so
Oh,
fun.
it's incredible. I love it.
So now, all right, so now I'm gonna like kind of put pressure on us because I'm curious, I'm
Okay.
kind of curious. Have you thought about, because I do a lot of thinking on this topic and I'm still undecided, but have you
Hmm.
thought about what type and what form, or like more specifically, what the community would look like? Like if we're communicating, um, I guess the form, like how that form shows up, because then I get caught up with the logistics of social media. I can't stand it. And what am I willing to commit to create community online that I feel comfortable with? I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about?
Yeah, actually, I think just kind of shooting off the cuff here, community and what you were just talking about and how to create it. I think it needs to be both online and offline
Okay.
because what happens is you create the foundation and the base for it in person, and that's where you kind of get all the feels and you create this exponential field of energy.
Okay.
And so that will carry over into people talking about how amazing this was. And but people who live further away, the way they can tap into it is actually online things. So
Hmm.
um so I
That's tough. For me, that's tough.
mhm.
Yeah, right, the offline stuff. So like
Oh,
physically
sorry, there
showing.
a blue jay just appeared in my window.
Ooh.
I'm not sure what that signifies.
Ooh, a
But
blue jay.
okay. Side tangent. There we go.
Yeah, like the offline, really, physical space, like, yeah, physical space, I don't know, it's some type of block for me.
Okay.
So I tell myself a story about, oh, I can't do it, and but the story goes south.
Mhm. Right,
It's a
but you know
lot of
what? Those things are
work.
even yeah, but you know what? Those could even just be dinners with friends, like reconnecting with people that you haven't talked to in a long time, or
Okay.
you know what? Even just going to a library and
Okay.
and setting an intention. Um,
Right. So I'm making it bigger and
so
and
so are we
when
talking
it
about for you specifically or for anybody in general, because the
Yeah.
online platform is incredible. It is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only thing with that is that the authenticity of who you are
Mm-hmm.
will need to come through. And so that would mean on camera. And I
Mm-hmm.
know just how much you absolutely love being on camera.
It's just so annoying. I'm like, I don't want to put on makeup. I don't want to, worry about what's in the background. I just want to do it.
Oh, you know what? Actually, through your voice would actually do it too.
But how am I gonna reach people if they just hear my voice? I don't know.
Oh, because it's your vibration. That's
Okay.
who your true essence is. Remember how we talked about in person versus online sessions, where online sessions were easier because we could
Yeah.
focus on just the vibration versus the minutia of
Yeah. The physical,
right.
what we're physically seeing. So this is actually, I mean, like you and I have figured out to do this recording with our, these little cute cartoons. And so, there's video, but it's not us. And
Mhm.
so maybe I could do something like that, is what you're thinking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, we could actually put it out to the community now that we have,
Yeah.
because we are two individuals, right, creating community, but
Hmm.
it's not just us who are we have our listeners who, what, email us. How
Yeah.
can we, better reach, or how can we get the message out? How can we best serve humanity?
Yeah.
And how would they like to see it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So we'll see who responds.
Exactly.
No pressure. No pressure. No.
No pressure at all. The answers will come.
Yes.
And, sometimes when I find that I do get stuck, somebody else has an easy answer. It's like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's where community comes in, because we get to be our authentic selves and who we are within this great mass of all these other amazing people who
Mm,
have, you know, similar and different gifts. So it's just, we're just all aligned.
mm. I want to tell you a story that annoyed me last week.
Yep.
In my attempt to, be part of the community and, venture into some new things, I connected to the Parks and Recreation Department to offer healing and art classes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, sure. Do you have insurance to teach?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? I just want to teach a class. Now I got to buy
Wait.
insurance?
Insurance to teach?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
going to sue you for teaching art? I mean,
Yeah. 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 So I had
what?
so I'm like, okay. So they're not going to let me teach unless I get insurance. So I'm like, so my point is, how fucking stupid is that?
Wow.
And then I told them I was a reverend and that I was covered by a church, and that wasn't good enough, that I need to have insurance. And I'm like, wow, this is really messed up. So talk
Yeah.
about an obstacle. I'm like, I just want to, inspire people to do some art and learn something. And I gotta, you know what I mean? Like what
Right.
sort of person is going to say, oh, she injured me and now I have to, I'm gonna sue her for teaching a fucking arts class?
It
What
brought
kind
up
of
such
world is that?
childhood memories. I had to draw a picture of my family, and it brought up all this trauma. I would think that's a good thing.
Tell me more.
No, I'm just kind of I'm playing devil's advocate here on how art could potentially be a liability.
Okay.
And it's just like, yeah. So the first thing that came up was like, I had to draw a picture of my family, and I'm kind of being a little facetious here, but not in a way. And it triggered something in me that I remembered from childhood. And now I lost my job. I can't function as a human, and it's your fault.
Whoa, Erica, I can't even process what you just said. I'm so in awe of what you just said. Um, Okay. So you're saying the energy of what I just said, that
Hmm.
was like a similar paralleled storyline
Yes.
and and of
Because sometimes, like, everything has an opposite per se,
hmm
or like a different vibration. And
hmm
so if you look into, some of the struggles or things that come up as blockages in our life,
hmm
there's always a story.
yeah.
There's always like a story as to why. And so potentially somewhere in the ethers, this could have already have happened.
Yeah.
And so what universe is probably telling you is like, you know what, this probably isn't the place to do this.
Oh, I saw it as a challenge to get the insurance and do it anyway.
Absolutely. There's that parallel line, as well, where it's a challenge. You can go ahead and you can do that. You'll get the insurance, and of course, you'll be covered if that situation ever happened. But it's a challenge for you. You're meeting it, and boom, you've changed that timeline. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So,
I'm happy you could see what I'm,
yeah, so what you're saying is I just became aware of the patterning of something that's overlaying, that it's showing up in all areas of my life. It's showing up here. It's always been there, and now it's in my
Mhm.
face.
Right.
This
So,
pattern.
right. So now you're gonna either overcome it
Uh-huh.
by getting the insurance because it's just kind of what you do to protect yourself
Mm-hmm.
and your family and your home, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Or you decide, you know what, this isn't a path that I want.
Yeah.
You know what, I will be better served doing my artwork for, some college, development group, like some adult development group kind of thing.
Right. Right. That doesn't require that, or it doesn't have that mentality.
Right.
Or doesn't I know it's such shitty energy. I don't
Yes.
know. Like, could you tap into what,
I,
to
uh,
clarify how I should
um,
perceive that? I don't know.
okay. The way I tapped into, well, the way that scenario came up was I tapped into the energy of the Parks and Rec department that you went to.
Yeah.
And everything has its place in this world. It's neither good nor bad, but every vibration has an opposite vibration equal to it. And so Parks and Rec vibrates at a certain frequency that
Yeah.
isn't conducive to higher vibrational work at this time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a low vibration.
So,
But me and my airy fairy mentality, I'm thinking I'm going to bring positivity to the community, and I'm going to show up and smile and make this town a better place to be in.
yep, and you can do it and you will do it, but sometimes you'll find yourself alone, and that has to be okay. Because when you're creating community in a place that you're trying to raise a vibration,
hmm
because vibrations, they always entrain to the higher vibration. So as you are there vibrating as your beautiful self, you will have people finally start to wake up and start vibrating there, but it's going to be a little lonely at first. But there are people out there that
Yeah,
are going to wake up and be like, oh my gosh, look what's here, look what we can do,
yeah,
and my kids, this would be great for my kids, this will be great for me, this is, so
yeah. Yeah, lonely. I mean, when you say at first, talk about the past, just moving here. It's been 8 years of lonely because I feel like, like I'm the only person in this area that thinks differently. We'll just say
mhm.
that.
Thank God it wasn't 20 years. If we want to talk about perspective,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, see, it's the stories we tell ourselves, right? It's like,
exactly,
well, thank
exactly.
God it's not 20.
And I don't want to minimize what you're saying or what you're feeling in any way, shape, or form.
Right, but you're
But
right. It's the story.
Everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
Oh, I fucking hate that, Erica. I hate it.
Right? It sucks.
Oh my God.
It
No, because
fucking sucks.
okay, so I'm glad you brought this up because in astrology, when I turn 53, that's supposed to be a big turning point for me publicly.
Mhm.
There's like all the planets are aligned. Like, the astrologer that read it was so excited. She's like, "Oh my God, everything's just gonna explode for you," and blah blah. And I'm like, so what do I do in the meantime? I'm like, okay, that's how many years away? So it's all about the timing. Is that fixed? You know what I mean? Like, is it fixed? Can I have it now? Can I do something about it now? What do I do? No, this is a good thing you brought up.
Yeah, no, I'm laughing because I'm exactly there too. 49 is supposed to be my year, and it's just like, and you know what? That could be some of the pressure I'm putting on myself too. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, it's supposed to happen this year. What's going on? But yeah, but fifth, yeah. So like you, what are we supposed to do in the meantime?
In the meantime, yeah, and well, why can't it be now? Why can't it be now? Like, is that movable or is it fixed? You
Well,
know?
it's kind of like this information superhighway kind of thing where, okay, at 53, all the other people that are supposed to be in your life will have their shit together so that you guys can do what needs to be done.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
like, if you did it now, you know, it's like there's another person, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. Or there's another person saying, hold on, I gotta get this divorce. Or hold on, I gotta, you'll have
yeah.
people that are, you'll have
Well,
your tribe.
I
Or,
think I think we're hitting on my Aries mentality. I want it now.
oh, wait,
And
you're an Aries
what
too? With the,
yeah.
oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, like Aries sun.
You know what? That's really hilarious because yesterday, just yesterday, I found out that I have four Aries women in my life that are
Ooh.
good friends.
Ooh. So or did I just get added to the list or am I one of those four?
No, no, you're totally added to the list. Hold on. Let's see. There's one, two, three. Yeah, you're four. You're four.
Wow. Aries oh my God. So you're Sagittarius.
Yes.
That's why, because
Oh
it's
wait.
fire. Fire. And we want it now, and we're intense. And I don't want to wait for everyone to get their shit together. Get your shit together. I feel like I'm like from the military or something. Like,
Yep. Just do the hard shit, right?
do it. Everyone fucking do it already, because I'm tired of waiting for everybody. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh my God. And so there's my inner dialogue. No, I hear what you're saying, and I need
Yep.
to appreciate that. But I mean, and it brings up, oh, just have faith, just have patience. You're developing patience, and you're strengthening
Oh.
your faith. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, it better be worth it. Let me just tell you.
I know, it's like if I hear that one more fucking time, that's it.
It's like, shut up. Oh my God. All right. So thanks
Oh,
for letting me vent that.
absolutely.
So,
Well, I
so,
think it's important for people to know too, because like, people sometimes get readings or, it's, oh, it's going to happen here, it's going to happen then. But, that disappointment. And so it kind of blocks people from really seeing what's in front of them
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and the beauty of what's really here. And like, as it's always said, it's in the journey. The beauty is in the journey.
yeah.
And sometimes we lose sight of that because it's like, okay, I know it's going to be great here, but what the heck?
Yeah. But so as I'm processing this, I realize it's only the mind and the ego that feels that way. The greater part
Mhm.
of me knows that everything is perfect right now, all is well, it doesn't get any better. It's like, that perfect. Um, yeah, it's only the mind, the mental stuff that's like, I want it now. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to kind of answer the question of, well, what do we do in the interim? It just keeps coming to my mind like exactly what we love to do. And then
Oh,
everything falls into place.
love it. I'm
We
writing
don't
it
have
down.
to worry about what. tomorrow brings. We just have to, in every single moment. You know what? I am fucking loving dusting my living room and all my knickknacks.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's those little things. Or, you know what? I feel like I'm just going to go sit down and write a little bit.
Yeah.
Or, it's finding a routine. It's, oh, I say routine. You know how you build a house, brick house? It's brick by brick, right? And then at the end, you have the house. So, hmm, for me, I'm kind of speaking for me, what do I do in the interim? It's like, all right, one foot in front of the other, lay one brick at a time, and just do something routinely, consistently, and
Hmm.
who knows what it'll look like in the end. But
Hmm.
it's being done routinely and consistently. And yeah, it can change. I may want
So,
to go
I
for,
want I
oh,
just
go
want
ahead.
to point out to people, it's a really good word to help remember because what you're describing that habit and the routine, but the other word that's fun is that the word spiritual, if you
Mm-hmm.
take the S off, you have the word ritual, and what you're describing is ritual.
Mm.
And that keeps us, that's like our innate
Safety. It's actually like a safety, wouldn't you say? Or,
safe. Yeah, yeah. But it's this innate discipline,
mm-hmm.
or another word is the practice. All of those things, yeah, cultivate safety in the routine. Yeah, it is
It
safety.
brings comfort.
Yep. Peace
Ah,
of
you know what? Maybe,
mind.
yeah, maybe that's why like routine is very important for kids because
Yes.
they know where they're at. So,
Right. To create the foundation for safety for the rest of their life. Yep.
mm-hmm.
And that's why when you're 3 years old, see, we're going to talk about personal trauma now. When you're 3 years old, you shouldn't pick up and your parents shouldn't pick you up and move into a bigger house because your sibling is going to come out. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
just as an aside for people listening, that's one of the big traumas is moving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think because we're talking about safety and routine, and at 3 years old, when you're so like vulnerable and don't know what the heck is going on, and now your parents are moving you to another house, like that's something that leaves a mark forever, forever. Um, and that's what I coach people on are things like that. So moving is a big trauma. Divorce, we know, of course, is a big trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Starting school is a big trauma. Having a sibling is a big trauma, a pet dying, trying to think of the biggies, but you get the picture. And these leave like skips in the record that your adult life is, it's just, it's all in the programming at that point, your program's in.
Right.
So then you got to work with it.
Exactly. It's funny because you say moving is such a big one. It's like, well, what would you say to somebody who's moved like 24 times?
You moved 24 times?
Yep.
Oh my God.
So it's kind of like, huh, no wonder I have problems or issues with setting a routine and being consistent. So I just have to try that much harder.
Oh.
Huh.
So for you, my thought about that
Oh.
is to focus on your inner safety, your inside, your safety within as your inner compass. That would be something I'd work on personally.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny too because it's like, oh, that's why
Mm-hmm.
I can't stick to something is because everything's temporary. It's going to change anyway. So why even start?
Yep. Yep.
Ha.
It's gonna show up it'll show up in the first chakra, which is safety, that's in the
Mm.
coccyx. Um, and yeah, safety, security. Yeah, that's a big one for everybody.
Yeah. So military brats out there, especially if you're listening, work on your inner safety.
Inner safety, like no matter where you are safe, right? Because you're
Mhm.
bringing yourself with you and you have yourself, and that's what's safe. So I've been personally working on that, in the recent months. Not that I have that history like you're describing, but we
Mhm.
all need it. I have my story.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's a big one, Erica, to unpack. That's a big one. Mm,
Yeah. Well, thank
yeah.
God we had this conversation today, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Inner safety, comfort,
Community.
routine, unity, communication, rocking and rolling, and we didn't
Yep.
know what we were going to be talking
Immunity.
about.
Yeah. If people are getting sick all the time, join a community.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what would you like? We have like 10 minutes. I'm wondering, where do we want to steer the ship now?
Is there anything you'd like to unpack or talk about or
That's what I'm thinking about. I don't know, like for the audience, let me ask the masters. Um,
let's see, is there anybody out in the ethers that has a question?
let's see. So what I'm hearing is in the ethers is be easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself. Now, easy is the opposite of disease, right? The
Oh,
opposite of ease is disease. So be easy on yourself. That was a good one. Um,
I like that.
yeah,
Be easy on yourself because I think that's, for the masses, everybody, with everybody waking up and trying to attain some, you know, sense of spiritual awakening and just trying to connect deeper, people are putting a lot of pressure on themselves when it's really not needed because
right.
you have to be easy with yourself. Kind of just what you said. You have
Yeah.
to be easy because, in essence, as complex and as crazy as, tapping into the ethers seems and things like that, it really is very simple of
It
just
is.
being present and feeling yourself and being yourself and finding your greatest joy. I mean, that's really what it all boils down to. Everything else is just noise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, along those lines of being easy on yourself.
So I'm gonna throw a concept out that is maybe more advanced.
Mm-hmm.
We could just touch on this for people is something I've learned in a class that I was taking, that the word present, you break that down into present or presence, presence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like.
And yeah, so I know, me and the words, but I don't know. I'm making this stuff up. I don't know. I don't know what's real, what's whatever. Just having fun. So I think to myself, okay, so then I think in the concept of like everything is pre-arranged, preordained. We just show up and receive it, right? It's like I am receiving myself just by allowing and receiving what's already there. And this is similar to, now I'm tying in like the teachings of Abraham Hicks,
Mm-hmm.
where just to be in that receptive mode, you're in your vortex, and that's all you have to do is go downstream and have an easy time here and just keep receiving what's in the vortex. It sounds overly simplistic. So I just want to throw that out there. Um, so being present, it's almost like a pre-knowing of the next moment or what's in that vortex that you can tap into. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolute perfect sense.
Okay. And the other word that aligns with this is observe. It's like you have the word serve in there, but then you have this OB in front of it. It's like a pause to me. It's like, oh, so we're in service or we're serving, but to me, it's like a pre or there's something else before that when you're observing. I don't know, that word, there was a third word that had this prefix in it, and I thought that's fascinating. It was, awareness, awareness itself, where there's an A, where it's like there's this separation from, or this pre from,
Mm-hmm.
and then where that's a fun. you can take that WARE and then turn it into the other where that we know, like, where is it?
Where?
Yeah. Wow. So I don't know. I'm playing with those three words because they're big, high vibratory words when it comes to enlightenment.
Yep.
And even enlightenment, you have the EN in front, and then you have light,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
What is all this like pre shit, pre. You got to do something before you get where, the light, the before you serve, your sense, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're all giving the same message. At least that's how I see it. I don't know. That's what I'm going to end with today. What do you think?
Oh no, I absolutely agree with you. And I worked with a doctor in he was based out of New Jersey, where he's the guy that taught me like where letters and vowels have a particular vibration.
Yeah.
It's like the letters or the consonants are the structure and the vowels are the spiritual essence. So that's why you could write a code to help somebody, like they could put in their pocket and help them change their vibration.
Wow.
So you talking about all the different things that you can make with these words and these letters, they all have their own frequency and vibration that will, affect people in different ways.
Yeah.
And so I am 100% on board with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I think they're all like they're getting us, they're all words that are like preparing us for the moment in front of us. Like, I don't know, there's something about this. Like, and maybe that's the metaphor, the microcosm for us being on Earth, is that we're a few steps ahead, or that right? So we're seeing the future a few seconds or a few something before it happens, but maybe that's the microcosm or the metaphor for life itself. Like, this whole life experience is the pre to the next life that we're getting to. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes perfect sense because right now everybody's waking up. I mean, it all started when Wi-Fi, I
Yeah.
think I posted something recently where, so many people believe in Wi-Fi and it works to connect things, but all it is vibration and frequency. And
Yeah.
that's what we are as human beings. So I do believe this, you know, uh, present moment, for lack of better words, is
Yeah.
a precursor to what is to come.
There it is. A precursor to what is to come. Yeah. Pretty
Because,
cool.
yeah, it's very cool because there are places on this earth already. I know there was one down in Brazil. I know there's one in New Mexico where it is all about vibration and frequency. There was this one place in New Mexico that I went where when I got out of my car for the very first time, I was like, I was the alien because everything was vibrating and frequency or it was, yeah, vibrating at such a high frequency that when I got out of the car, it was like walking through butter. I was the alien interrupting like this homeostasis of this place on earth. And it was just like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So those places already exist. And I think humanity as a whole is headed that way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
being aware, having an awareness
Yeah.
of that. I love that so many people are waking up. It's really cool to see.
It's about fucking time.
I honor you.
Seriously, it's about
No, I
fucking
hear
time.
you.
Yeah.
I hear you. No, you've been doing the work for a long time.
Like, come on, people, wake up, wake
Yep.
up. Let's get this show on the road. Let's go. Let's
Is
go.
is that the Aries in you?
No, not at all. Not at all. Um, all right. Well, I think we are having a fantastic time. I think this was great. I want to end here. Um, so for those listening, please let us know if you'd like to be on the next show, and we can dive in as a team and bring insight and awareness to whatever ailment you might have or life situation that you might have.
Right. Oh, but we have to put a little disclaimer in there too
Yeah.
about how we are not responsible for what comes up.
Oh yeah, amen. We are not, yes, a
but but
disclaimer.
but not even in that sense, but more of the sense that they have to be aware of what may come up.
Well, yes, on my website, I say I only work with people that take responsibility for their life because, I can't help victims if they want to stay in that victim mentality. Yes, you're right. We need to be clear about what they're signing up for, which is, I guess, vulnerability, but it's truth, right?
Yep.
We want to get to the truth.
Yeah, if somebody's stuck and they have nowhere to go or they can't find the answers, but they really want the answers,
Yeah,
are okay with the answers, well, they may or may not be okay, but they'll be able to work with the answers, then
yeah.
I don't want to scare people away either. So
No, no, no.
let you
Okay,
continue
so
talking.
yes, I mean, when this again, health is about power. When you have to own your power. And sometimes that means doing difficult things, like getting yourself out of that murky, mucky water takes an effort and a willpower and faith, and all those things don't necessarily feel good. But you got to be willing to do the work, right? That's what you're touching on.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you just sit on the couch until you croak, and you could do that too. Um, but yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening. I'm going to end here. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
All right. Until next time.
Next time.